بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. This is Math 101, first major, term 231. Let us have a look to the exam and solve it together. The first question, suppose a computer manufacturer has the total cost function. So the cost function is given, and the total revenue, the revenue is also given. What is the equation of the profit function? Well, we know that the profit function is the revenue function minus the cost function. So the revenue is 370x, and we need to subtract the cost function. But there are two terms in the cost function, so I need brackets here because this minus sign will change the signs of the two terms. So I'll have negative 70x, also minus times plus would be minus 3,600. Now this is 370x and this is 70x. I can subtract these two, combine these two like terms. 370 minus 70 is 300 and minus 3,600. So this is the profit function. He said, what is the equation of the profit? That's the equation of the profit function. What is the profit in dollars on 320 items? Okay, so what is the profit if the number of items is 320? Well, X is the number of items, so this means that he needs the profit when X is 320 items. So I go here and replace X by 320. Well, I put this in the calculator and write the answer. The answer is $92,400. So this is the profit on 320 items. How many items must be sold to avoid losing money? We will avoid losing money if we get to the break-even point. And the break-even point, either the revenue equals the cost or the profit would be zero. Because if the revenue equals the cost, then R minus C would be zero. So the profit would be zero. So I can search for the number of items in which the profit is zero. This means that 300x minus 3,600 equals to zero. Solving this equation, this is a linear equation, so I take 3,600 to the other side, and then I divide by 300, and x would be 12. So if x is 12 or more, we will avoid losing money. So I can say that x should be greater than or equal to 12. Okay, if x is greater than or equal to 12 items, we will not lose money. Find the market equilibrium quantity and equilibrium price whose supply function is and demand function. Well, the market equilibrium point will happen when the demand equals to the supply. So I have P equals here and P equals here. So I need to solve these two equations together. So I can P equals, I can put Q square plus 8Q plus 16 equals to negative 3Q square plus 6Q plus 436. And I can solve this equation. This is a second degree equation. To solve a quadratic equation or a second degree, I take everything to the left-hand side. So this is negative 3Q square. If you take it to this side, would be positive 3Q square, and I have 1Q square here. So I'll have 4Q square in the left-hand side. This is 8Q, 6Q. If you bring it here, it would be negative 6. So 8 minus 6 is 2. So I'll have 2Q. and this is 16 minus 436. If you bring minus 436, so I'll have 420. 16 minus 436 is 420. Well, I can try to factor this equation to solve it, or I can notice that this is 4 to 420. So I can divide both sides of this equation by 2. So I'll have 2q squared plus q minus 210. And then I try to factor this equation, and I find that this is 2q and this is q, and 210 I can write it 21 times 10. So let me try positive 21 and negative 10. Now 21q minus 20q would be positive q, so this is the correct factorization. So I have two solutions, either 2q plus 21 equals to 0. This is called zero product property. Two things, their product is 0, so one of them must be 0. So either 2q plus 21 is 0. Of course, both could be 0. And then if you take 21 to the other side, it would be negative. So q would be negative 21 over 2. But quantity being negative, this is not in real life. So this is rejected. And the other possibility, q is 10. So this is the equilibrium quantity. Q equals to 10, Q minus 10, 0, so Q equals to 10. This is the equilibrium quantity. Now, how to find the equilibrium price? Either I replace Q here by 10 or Q here by 10. Well, I choose the supply function. So if I replace Q by 10, 10 squared is 100. 8 times 10 is 80 plus 16, so 196. So this is the equilibrium price. You can write the equilibrium point, Q and P. This is the equilibrium point, okay? Equilibrium point. And this is the equilibrium price. Write the equation of the line that passes through the point 1, negative 3 and perpendicular to this line. To find the equation of a line, I have this formula, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So I need the slope of the line and the point on the line. Well, the point is given, so this is x1, y1. So I can immediately write y minus 3 equals m times x minus 1. So this is the equation of the line, but I need to find the slope. How can I find the slope? He said the line is perpendicular to this line. All right. So if the line is perpendicular to this line, I need to find the slope of this line first, and then I'll be able to find the slope of the perpendicular line. So here, if I leave 2y here, and I take 4x to the other side, and then I divide by y by 2, sorry. So 4 over 2, this is 2x. And also do not forget to divide 5 by 2. So this would be the equation of this line. Well, I can see here that the slope of the line is 2. So the slope of the perpendicular line is 1 over 2, and you multiply by a negative sign, because the product of the two perpendicular lines, the product of their slopes should be negative 1. So if you know m1, for example, m2 would be negative 1 over m1. So I know that the slope here is 2, so I find negative 1 over 2. This would be the slope of the line. We need to find its equation. So that's the answer of the question. Solve this equation. Well, I have a fraction, so I should multiply by the LCD, and I should notice that x cannot be 2 and the x cannot be negative 4. And the LCD here is the product of these two. So it's x plus 4 times x minus 2. So let us multiply by x plus 4 times x minus 2. Multiply both sides. So this is the first term, and then there is a minus sign, so let me use just minus sign. Minus also x plus 4 times x minus 2 times 3 over x minus 2, and this is equals 4 times x plus 4 times x minus 2. So I multiplied each term in the equation by the LCD. And now this cancels with this, and this cancels with this. So I'll have 5 times x minus 2, and here negative 3 times x plus 4, and here I'll have 4 times, and let me multiply these two. X times x as x squared, and I have 4x here and negative 2x here. 4x minus 2x is positive 2x. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. So I'll have 5 times x expand minus 5 times 2, that's 10, minus 3 times x, and minus 3 times 4 equals 4x squared. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 8 is 32, and there is a minus sign, of course. This is a quadratic equation. So I'll leave one side 0. So I'll leave this side 0 now because I have positive 4x squared here. So 4x squared. I have here 5x minus 3x. This is 2x. If you take it to the other side, it would be negative 2x. I have 8x minus 2x. This would be 6x. And this is negative 10 minus 12. That's minus 22. If I take it to the other side, it's positive 22. Minus 32, that's minus 10. I can write equals to 0 here or here. So this is the equation. Also, I can divide both sides by 2. And I can try to factor this equation. 2x squared is 2x times x, sorry, 2x times x. And now negative 10, I can write it, negative 2 times 5, for example. Let me try positive 5 minus 2. This will not work because this is 5 minus 4. So negative 22, 32. I will try with the calculator, check that it's factored or not. Mode 5, 3. You can try to solve this equation by calculator. Let me check from the beginning, is there any mistake? 5 times x minus 2. Here negative 3 times x plus 4. And here 4 times x plus 4 times x minus 2. Okay. This is 4x squared plus 8 minus 32. 3x minus 12. Okay. 5x minus 3x is 2x. Take it to the other side, 6x. Negative 10 minus 12 equals negative 22. It would be positive 22, so negative 32, positive 22. I cannot see any problem here. So in fact, there is no factorization of this. This equation cannot be factored because when you put it in the calculator, you have minus. So I will use a quadratic formula to solve this equation. So A is 2, B is 3, and C is negative 10. Quadratic formula says x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c over 2 times a, that's 4. So negative 3 plus or minus, this would be 4 times 2, 8 times 10, 80, and this is plus, so 9 plus 80, that's 89 over 4, and these are the two solutions. Okay. The profit function for a firm making widgets is given by this equation. Find the number of units at which maximum profit is achieved. Well, if you have degree 2 quadratic equation and he is asking about maximum profit, so the maximum profit would be k, because this is a parabola. The graph of this is a parabola. A here is the coefficient of x squared, which is negative 2. B is the coefficient of x, that's 132, and C is negative 1600. The graph is a parabola. A is negative, so the parabola opens upwards. So the maximum point here is HK. So K is the maximum profit, and he is asking about the number of units. So X, the value of X, that's H. So X here is equal to H equals negative B over 2A. So it's negative 132 over 2 times negative 2, that's negative 4. And if you divide 132 by 4, the answer is 33. So X is 33. So that's the answer. This is the number of units at which maximum profit is achieved. You can write 333 units. Okay. He didn't ask about the maximum profit. If he asks what is the maximum profit, I will replace x by 33 in this equation and find p of x or k, and that would be the maximum profit. Solve the following system. Well, we can solve this system by elimination. I have negative 6x, I have 2x. So what if I multiply the first equation by negative 3? Okay, so multiply this equation by negative 3 and keep equation 2 as it is. So I will get negative 3 times 2, that's negative 6x, negative 3 times 5, that's negative 15y, negative 3 times 36, that's negative 108. And the second equation, I will write it as it is, and then I'll add the two equations together. There is no need to multiply the first equation by negative 3. It's enough to multiply by 3 because I need one of the signs positive and one of the signs negative. So I'll multiply only by 3. This would be 6, and this would be plus, and this would be plus. Now, when I add the two equations, 6x minus 6x is 0, 5y plus 15y plus 2y is 17y, and 108 plus 220 is 136. Dividing both sides of the equation by 17, 136 by 17 is 8. So this is the value of y. Well, to find x, you can replace y by 8 either in the first or in the second equation. I'll choose the first. So I'll multiply 5 times 8. 5 times 8, that's 40. Now take 40 to the other side. It would be negative 40. 36 minus 40 is minus 4. Divide by 2, x is negative 2. So this is the solution. If you want, you can write it like this. Solution set consists of the point negative 2 and 8. Find horizontal and vertical asymptotes for this rational function. Well, to find the equation of the vertical asymptote, you put the denominator equals to 0 and you solve this equation for x. So you take 5 to the other side and then you divide by 2. So this is the vertical asymptote. This is the equation of the vertical asymptote. Well, the equation of the horizontal asymptote, we look to the degree of the numerator 1, the degree of the denominator is also 1. So the equation of the horizontal asymptote would be y equals the coefficient of the highest power in the numerator, which is negative 3, over the coefficient of the highest power in the denominator, which is 2. So this is the answer. This is the equation of the horizontal asymptote, negative 3 over 2. Consider this function, which is a quadratic function. Find the vertex. Okay, to find the vertex, we said that just uh, the same question was asked uh, before. So this is A, B is 9, C is negative 18, but to find the vertex, H is negative B over 2A. So I don't need C, in fact. So negative B would be negative 9, and 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, so H is 9 over 2. Well, to find K, K is f of H, so it's f of 9 over 2. So it's not negative 9 over 2 square, which is 81 over 4, plus 9 times 9 over 2, which is 81 over 2, and negative 18. If you use the calculator, you will find that the answer is 9 over 4. So the vertex has coordinates 9 over 2 and 9 over 4. 9 over 2 is 4.5, and 9 over 4 is 2.25. Determine whether fx has maximum or minimum. Well, A is negative, so the parabola will open downwards, and the vertex would be maximum here. Vertex is maximum, okay? Maximum point. Find y-intercept and x-intercept, if any. Well, to find the y-intercept, I put x0 here. And if I put x0 here, this would be 0, this would be 0, and I'll have negative 18. So the y-intercept is negative 18. To find the x-intercepts, I put y is 0. Y is f of x. So I'll have negative x squared plus 9x minus 18 equals to 0. And I need to solve this equation. Well, to solve this equation, I'll first multiply by minus sign, and then I'll try to factor. This is x minus 6 times x minus 3, okay? Because negative 3 times negative 6 is positive 18, negative 6x minus 3x is negative 9x. So I have two x-intercepts, either x is 6 or x is 3. The product is 0, so either x minus 6 is 0, which means x equals 6, or x minus 3 is 0, which means x is 3. So these are the two x-intercepts. Find the domain and the range. Well, if the parabola opens downwards like this, the domain is always all real numbers. The domain of the parabola is always all real numbers from negative infinity to infinity. But the range would be, because the graph is going down and the range values of y, so the values of y would be here from negative infinity to this value, which is k, okay, to k. So the range is from negative infinity to k, and k is 9 over 4. So pay attention, we close it from here. It's closed because 9 over 4 is a possible value of y. Sketch the graph of f. Well, first I'll plot the vertex. The vertex is 9 over 2 and 9 over 4. 9 over 2 is 4.5, so somewhere here, up to 2.25. So this would be the vertex. And 6 is a y-intercept, x-intercept, sorry, and 3 is an x-intercept. And 18, negative 18 is the y-intercept. So I'll just sketch the graph like this. So this is the graph of this parabola. It will continue down, okay? And this was the last question. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. See you in another exams in the future.